What's poppin', you guys? It's your girl SJ the Realist, and I'm here with my homie
Jeff.
and together we are the Popcorn Patrol podcast. New year, new you, new me. I mean, well,
And a
what
new
is
season of the
and
Popcorn Patrol podcast.
a new season, and we're kicking it off with some Asian cinema. It is the month of January. We're honoring Chinese New Year, and today we are doing Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which is a now classic, makes me feel real old film. And so we hope you stick around as we review it on the podcast. Welcome back, guys. It's Girl SJ, and today we are reviewing Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Jeff, what are give me the skinny on this movie? What do you got for us?
Well, it had a budget of $17 million and it brought in 213 million at the box office.
Hey,
It was 128 million just in the US, and it at the time became the highest grossing foreign produced Mandarin language movie. A lot of stipulations on that.
okay. Let me give you a synopsis then. In the 19th century, the Qing Dynasty China, a warrior, which is played by Chow Yun-fat, gives his sword, which is called the Green Destiny, to his lover Michelle, played by Michelle Yeoh, to deliver for safekeeping. But it's stolen, and the chase is on to find it. So the search leads to the House of Yu, where the story takes on a whole different level. So, without further delay, what did you think about this movie? How did you feel about it?
I I remember when this movie first came out, I was working at the Video 99 in my hometown, and I had no interest in this movie at all.
Sure.
I wasn't a fan of movies with subtitles or dubbed movies. It was just, I was probably like 16, 17, and just not interested in it.
Sure.
I watched this movie and completely regretted not having interest in this movie because this movie was great. This movie was fantastic. I really enjoyed this movie. I did not think I was going to like it at the start. It opened up and I am just like, what did I sign myself up for? But no, this movie was fantastic. I loved it.
Oh, awesome. Because I remember watching this movie and a long time ago when it came out, and I really liked it. I loved it. I thought it was quite beautiful and well done. But I didn't know if it would stand the test of time. So I remember talking to you when I suggested we watch it, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to be the same or if it's still good. Like, I don't really know. But you know what? It was really good. Like, it was still good after all those years. Like, I have some qualms with it, but for the most part, everything was beautiful. So I guess we should get into the popcorn paradise of it all.
Well, we weren't the only people that like this movie. This movie received a ton of Academy Awards.
Yes,
It
it
got
did.
Best Original Score, Best International Feature Film, Best Production Design, Best Cinematography, Best Director, Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing. This
Listen,
this movie swept the floor with the competition at the Oscars.
yeah, but let's be honest though, at that time when that movie came out, there was nothing like it in American cinema, or even in Asian cinema at that time. Everything was very kind of cheesy and very stereotypical. Like, especially in the States, they tend to, you know, overdo people that are not of who are of different ethnicities. And it was nice and refreshing to see like a semi-serious uh movie, kung fu movie, like this. So, and it had like a beautiful love story. It had two love stories in it, actually. So yeah, it was really interesting. I definitely have some things for Popcorn Paradise. What did it get on Rotten Tomatoes?
Well, that's a good question.
Just out of curiosity, I forgot to check. I was like, I think it's probably gonna be high if it got all those like Oscar awards and Academy Awards. I can't see it being like super low, you know what I mean?
From the critics, it got a certified fresh 98%, and
Hey,
audience score was 86%.
okay. I mean those critic people, they really love this movie for sure.
You mentioned
But
the
yeah,
kung fu. One of my popcorn paradise items is the choreographed fight scenes. They were
beautiful.
incredible,
Yeah.
quick. Just you got to pay attention, or you're gonna miss stuff. It is fantastic.
Yeah. And honestly, like one thing I noticed is that all the actors in this movie are beautiful. Like, what the fuck?
Absolutely,
I
they're all
was like, what
gorgeous.
the heck? I guess Asian don't raisin. Have you ever heard that one?
Ah,
But yeah, no, they were like Michelle Yao, she's still beautiful. She must be in her 60s now and she's gorgeous. I want to talk about the score, like the music. Oh my God. I remember when this score came out, I went out and bought the CD, and I'm not a listen to a score kind of gal. Like I will if it's like a compilation of different artists. And, like remember back in the day, they used to have a soundtrack for every movie almost.
they still do.
They do, but it's not the same. Like, I don't know.
We are a soundtrack house. We love our soundtracks, especially Disney movies.
Oh my God.
We'll
Well, yeah.
often be listening to Disney soundtracks in the car. We love our like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1
Oh,
soundtrack was
yes.
incredible.
It's
Yeah,
good.
we're a soundtrack house. We I personally love the Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat soundtrack. My family hates it, but I love it and I will listen to it and
No
drive
shade.
them
No shade.
crazy.
I think that was one of the first Broadway or theater type big theater shows that I went to
Oh, nice.
back when I was in like in grade 1 or 2. Um the music in this is so beautiful. I remember picking up the CD and I would just listen to it. I remember seeing Yo-Yo Ma perform like the main theme songs of this movie,
Hmm.
and I remember just like I teared up because it was so beautiful. And I was like, if you really like take it apart and listen to it, it's amazing. And in the movie, I loved how they would ramp up the music, or they would tone it down according to what the scene was, or there would be like drums, they would be drumming and they'd start off soft but like slowly build according to the moment. So there was a lot of that in this movie, and I thought it really added, like there was that scene where they're in the treetops,
Yep.
the bamboo tops,
Yep.
and the music there, you really notice it because it's a very silent scene, very beautifully shot scene, but a very silent scene, but you can hear like the music going, and it quite kind of sets the mood for the film, which is what soundtrack music is supposed to do for the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that was one of my first popcorn paradise. Is the music in this movie is top notch. Now, what did you think about the love stories going in this film? Like what did you like that there were two kind of separate stories within the movie, or how did you feel about it?
I thought I didn't really see the one between
Chow Yun Fat and Michelle Yeoh.
yeah, that's the dude with the sword and
Yeah.
the girl that's kind of like the detective
Yeah, yeah.
who kind of figured out the whole situation right up for yeah. I didn't really see that theirs was basically just a lot of um just a
Like
lot of
glances. Like
glances.
glances
Yeah,
with
it was kind of
feeling.
like a sexual tension is more than a romance until the end when
Yeah, so
he's
the thing
dying.
I think the thing about that is that because he was in the monastery and he had like a duty to fulfill, he really couldn't be with her,
Yeah.
even though he wanted to, and because of honor and all of that, that kind of stopped them from being together. But there's this longing. You can feel that longing that they're really wanting each other, but nothing really happens too much in this movie with them. I think a lot of the passion really happens with Jen and the Dark Cloud guy. I think
Dark
I
Cloud,
forget.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I think
because he reigns terror.
he reigns here, but
That
he's like such
that
a
was the
fun,
cheesiest part of the
quirky
movie.
guy.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. Turns
I
out to
was
be like
like,
a total sweetheart.
yeah, he's just
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
I'm a crook, but
I'm gonna take
I'll
real
buy you
good care of
flowers.
you, and yeah, I'm a nice guy, sweetheart. But don't I will murder other people and steal all their stuff because I'm a
That's
bandit.
nice.
Yeah.
How romantic. Yeah, I remember seeing that and I was like, "Oh, he's kind of quirky. He's a little weird." The
But he when
characters
he
in
first got introduced and he comes in to the scene and he's just like, I came back for you, my love. And it was just like, who the hell is this guy?
right,
Like she's getting
right.
married to this governor or her that's the governor's daughter. She's getting
Yes,
married to this prearranged
royalty or
or
whatever.
yeah. And then
Mhm.
this guy just comes barging in just out of nowhere. It's like a M. Night Shyamalan twist, right?
Right.
It's just boom, who's it? Whoa, this okay. And then they do like a mini movie
They do like a
backstory on
mini
her.
movie. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I would have liked to see a little bit more between Chow Yun Fat and Michelle Yao, to be honest with you. I felt like they didn't give enough of their story, and I feel like their story might have been more interesting, so to speak, because they grew up together. I think they grew up in that monastery together or whatever. I'm not really sure what the exactly the backstory is, but they know each other quite well. So I'm sure they had some stories.
I felt like in this movie, I felt like I was absorbed into the movie. I'm
Yeah.
watching it. I feel like I was part of that world. Except for there was a few times that it took me out of that. Um, and I'll mention that those in my popcorn prison.
Right.
But it very much for the most part of the movie, I felt very absorbed into their environment. Felt
Yeah,
like I was part of their world.
you definitely feel invested in what you're watching, right? And definitely I love that there was serious stuff going on, but like you said, the choreographed um like fighting scenes, like kung fu scenes, just stunning. Like when they're running across the rooftops and you know it's like there's a lot of aerial work going on there, I'm sure, a lot of
That's
harnesses.
that's part of my popcorn prison.
Prison, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was beautifully done. I mean, obviously, what it is, but I think it's supposed to be like the sword has magical properties, so I think that's kind of why things were a little over the top. And that world, I think that world is supposed to be kind of be magical, which would explain all the aerial and the
They were
stunts and stuff
borderline
like that.
flying.
They
They
were
were just like, we're just
they
gonna
were
hop and skip
flying.
over this lake. And
Yeah.
it's just like, what? Okay, whatever.
I don't know how much of that is the culture of Asian cinema because
Okay.
I know what growing up watching Bollywood, there are certain things and ways that people act that are weird to a North American viewer,
Okay.
right? Whereas like when you watch an Asian film, there are certain things that are normal to the concept is normal to us or them or whoever. If my husband was supposed to watch it, I don't know if he would take it in the same way that I would take it in because we have very different viewpoints. It was very interesting. That being said, he loves this movie. So,
Okay.
I mean, fair enough. Now, do you remember the scene where Jen and Dark Cloud they kind of first meet and she keeps saying, "I want my comb. I want my
Yes.
comb. I want my comb." I
Yeah.
remember thinking to myself, I'm like, this girl don't want her comb. It's a little more than the comb. that she's wanting. You know what I mean? And I thought she was looking like she really wanted to stay with him. I was sure because she is a little bit that's she doesn't want to live that royal or privileged life kind of thing. Or she does want to live that privileged life, but she wants to go do her own thing.
Yeah.
I felt like because when she was in the tavern, she was bossing people around all over the place. I'm like, excuse me, like you need to chill out. As we saw, that got her into a lot of trouble. Anyways, um, so yeah, the comb scene. I was like, it's not just the comb,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and then again, the movie wasn't cheap. Like most of it wasn't cheesy. It had a good story. It might have been a smidgen long, but it was good. Like it moved, right? Um, I guess we should get into the popcorn prison of it all. Do
Sure.
you
Yeah, like I said,
what do you
for
have?
me it was the like the flying that they were doing. I just that's the only part of the movie I didn't really care for. It just kind of took me out of the zone.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, like the in fight stuff they were doing, like when they run 3 or 4 steps up off the wall and jump and do like a spiral thing. I can buy into that, no
Yeah.
problem. Like, it's supposed to be, kind of like that. But I mean, for the like running, like just completely running up the wall. And the only reason I buy into some of that is because I've seen some people do some parkour.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, how do they do that?
Right.
Right. So some of that stuff I can be like, hey, you know what? I could see someone skilled enough could do something like that. But when they're literally just running up the side of the wall like they're Sonic the Hedgehog
Yeah.
and jumping up, and then all of a sudden they're flying and they jump 40 or 50 feet just
In
from
the
a
air.
standstill. Okay. That takes me out
When
of the
the when
experience a little
you know
bit.
where I noticed it the most is when they were in the bamboo trees and Chow Yun
Yes.
Fat is standing there to like calmly, but he's just like swaying in the wind. I'm like, oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
but that being said, this movie I think is like an action
Yes.
fantasy romance
Sure.
movie. I think it
Yep.
kind of crosses three genres. And I'm not mad at it. I'm really not mad at it. The thing that I'm mad at, shall I get into my popcorn prison?
I just want to say it didn't
Yeah,
take away anything from the movie for me.
right.
It's more of a nitpick than it is a complaint. But anyways, yes, you go ahead with yours.
Well, I'm thankful that you liked it because the last one I picked, Eight Crazy Nights, you hated it.
Oh,
So,
it's the worst movie I've ever seen. And my
right.
wife agrees.
So I'm glad you liked this one. I didn't know how it would go. Yeah, the popcorn prison is the ending. I hated the ending.
Because the guy died or because she jumped off the
No,
cliff?
because Jen jumped off the cliff. I thought Michelle Yao's character, Yu Shilin, I thought she was going to jump off the cliff because when Jen came back with the remedy or whatever, she's like, go find your destiny. Like she was going somewhere or she
Right.
wasn't going to meet her anywhere or anything like that.
Yep.
And so I thought she was, and then they cut to a scene where a woman is walking up the stairs. So I thought that was Michelle Yao's character. But then you see Jen at the end and she sees Dark Cloud at the monastery. And then she has sad intercourse. and and then she's like, make a wish. The man makes a wish and she went, I'm out.
Now that you mentioned the ending, I thought that going to make this antidote, they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to have her. They could have just said, "Oh yeah, there's no antidote. Sorry, you're going to die." And
Right.
then she just wanders off to go meet Dark Cloud,
Yeah.
and then that leaves the two main characters there to just have their final moments. They didn't need to have the okay, we got an antidote.
Yeah.
It's going to take a few minutes to make, but I'll bring, and then she comes back too late, which I feel is almost kind of accidentally on purpose.
No, you know what I think that is? I think that's a vice to show that
Evil.
she's not evil, or she now knows that what she was doing was wrong, and she's
Okay,
trying to kind of make it right and be
fair enough.
honorable about it.
Yep.
So I think that's why they did that, because by coming back, she's showing that she's showing Michelle Yao's character, Yu Shu Lin, she's showing her that she really cares about what happens to Limu Bai,
Hmm.
and wants to help. You know, she is a good person. So at the end, when she does the wish thing, asks the wish thing, and then she goes to find her destiny, so to speak, I was like, I was so vexed. I was mad. I forgot that that happened
Hmm.
until I saw them on the bridge, and then I was like, I remember something stupid happening here, but I don't remember what. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, ruined it for me. I was like, I was all in until that very end.
Hmm.
I had to look up on like Reddit. I was looking up on Reddit, like, why did that happen? Like, what was the purpose of that? Anyways, so that was my only popcorn prison.
Nice.
This movie is a great movie. I would definitely watch this movie again. It's beautiful. The movie's great. It's just like visually, it's really nice. It would have been beautiful like on a big screen, I think. It
Yeah.
would have been really cool to
Yeah.
watch. The fight scenes are choreographed. So if you like kung fu movies, you'll like this. If you like romance, you like this movie. Like there's a lot going on here.
Well,
Um,
what do you got for a rating, a popcorn rating?
my popcorn rating. Now I wanted to give this an extra large. I really did. I was like so close, but that end scene wrecked it for me. It wrecked it so hard. So
Fair enough.
I'm going to give it a large popcorn. How did you feel, Jeff? What you got?
I was very pleasantly happy with this movie. Really enjoyed my time. I do not think it has that special magic that it requires for me to give it an extra large. So I'm going with the large popcorn as well.
Okay, we
Yeah.
matched. We matched, bestie, movie bestie.
Yep.
um, no, it was good. Like, you know, did you watch it with your wife?
Nope. I watched it by myself.
Yeah, is she a
This one was a bit
subtitle?
of a rush production. So I had to
Yep.
watch it in my not even my spare
Spare
time.
time.
Yeah. I had to make some spare time for it.
Right, right, right. Well, guys, it is the end of the New Year's podcast. Join us next week. We're going to be reviewing another movie paying homage to Asian cinema. So join us next week. Jeff, where can the lovely people find us?
We are on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, so the places that you can watch or listen. You can follow us on any social media platform: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever one you use, we're there.
Yeah, and I want to tell you guys, like and subscribe, and like maybe just play it in the background to help our views. That would be nice. Like if you're vacuuming or something, that would be cool. Um, yeah. But you know what? I think it's a special time. It's a new year, which means a new
New
mom
season.
joke.
Okay. And yeah, a new mom
New
joke.
season,
Okay.
new everything.
This is season
Mom
2,
joke.
episode 1. This better be a banger.
2024. Okay. This is not one of the question ones. This is not a question one,
Okay.
okay? Okay, so I love when they drop the ball in Times Square.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a reminder of what I did all year long. Get it? Maybe it was my delivery. It's got to be my delivery. It's a reminder of what I did all year long. Like I dropped the ball. Come on.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Stop it. Okay, I just want to shout out your jacket.
Oh,
Your New Year's jacket. Come on, come
Yes.
on. I wish I had one. I wish I had like a red one for like Chinese New Year. I would have rocked that real good.
It
Um,
is it's not a Versace, but it is a uh Versini.
okay.
Yeah,
Versini, eh?
picked this bad boy up in Vegas. It was a nice 40th birthday gift for me,
Nice.
and I enjoy wearing it.
It's definitely giving. It's giving New
Oh,
Year's. I love it.
it gives a lot.
No, it's fun. It's fun. Um, you know, do you make any New Year's resolutions, Jeff, or have you made any? Are you that kind of guy?
I am not generally a New Year's resolution person. I like to think that maybe having a fresh start on a certain calendar day is a good idea, but I usually only last, the first week, maybe the first month, and then it
Yeah,
just kind of all. You know what? My birthday is in January, so if like I drink a ton of pop, I don't eat healthy. If I make those decisions and then all of a sudden my birthday week comes along, it's thrown out the window. So
right.
like I'm already set up for failure. So if I do any of that stuff, it
Just
doesn't really
started in
matter then.
February.
Yeah, I
Just
could.
start
Yeah.
everything in February. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not a really, I used to try and do it, and then I'm like, this is so stupid. Why am I doing this? So unrealistic. And then I just stopped. And you know what? Every year I just try and live a healthy, happy life. I try and, take care of the people that I love around me, my friends and my family, the people who support me. I just try and show them love. And that's generally how I try and live my life. I try and achieve. I have like goals in mind that I want to kind of achieve. And so it kind of set out, and I have like a little list of stuff that I just check mark. Like, okay, I want to work on um upgrading the podcast music or something. I'll just, I'll put it on a list, and when I'm done it, I check it off. But generally speaking, like I don't really have resolutions like, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds by the end of next year or anything like that. It is what it is. Life is short, guys. Life is short. Enjoy it. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys, and we'll hopefully see you next week. This has been the Popcorn Patrol podcast. Popcorn Patrol out. Peace.